They are trying to get this nigga TORY locked the fuck up. So as you guys know, TORY's been doing pretty well in this case between him and Megan. He's been doing pretty good. He's been thriving. He's been more than thriving. He's been succeeding without opening his mouth one fucking time. He hasn't even taken a stand yet, and yet his victory seems to be inevitable. In my eyes, I see his victory to be inevitable. He's walking away from this one. TORY's not going down on any charges. Now, because it's incredibly obvious to everybody that TORY's not going down on any charges, the prosecution just tried to charge Tory Lanez with 2 felony accounts of bribery, saying Tory tried to bribe and intimidate both Kelsey and Megan Thee Stallion. Let's look at it.
Monday update. Prosecutors just tried to charge Tory with 2 new felony counts of intimidating a witness. 1 for intimidating Meg, 2 for intimidating Kelsey. They want these charges added to the criminal complaint, and they want these charges to go to the jury at this trial. The judge said, what? Hold up now. We just finished pretty much all the testimony. By the way, there's about 1 day of testimony left, maybe 2. And you guys want to add 2 new counts for what? Based on what? How long have you had this information? They said, well, we know that he's been threatening to pay them $1 million, and we had that information a while ago, but we didn't know how they were going to testify. The judge said, no, that's not how this works. You cannot add these charges to this trial right now. It would be so unfair to the jury to hear, to the defendant to hear that this is what you're trying to do. So the judge denied it. If they want to charge him with intimidating a witness, they can do that with a separate case. It's not going to happen on this case. As to the rest of the trial, testimony will conclude probably tomorrow, maybe the day after. Closing statements coming on Wednesday or Thursday. We should get a verdict. I don't know how long it's going to take the jury, but this is going to be given to the jury by Thursday or Friday.
So it's funny to me that at this stage in the game, they want to bring this up. If this was so clear, if this was so evident, if this was so pertinent, if it had such a profound effect on the case, why bring it up now? Why not bring the weight of everything you knew about Tory's misbehavior upon him when you started the case? Instead, because everything is unraveling before our eyes, because what we thought was the case, what we thought happened, what we thought was going to be cut and dry is no longer cut and dry anymore. I thought that it would be as simple as camera evidence or Kelsey testifying like, yep, Tory did XYZ, the driver saying, yep, this is what happened, bodyguard, yep. Instead, it's become a total shit show. It's a shit show. You can't make this up. Meg's bodyguard goes missing. Tory Lanez's driver hasn't been summoned. Kelsey gets on the stand and says that everything that I said about Tory shooting Meg, I lied. Meg getting up on the stand, I don't remember anything. Tory staying silent as fuck, quiet as a mouse, refusing to talk. You couldn't make this shit up. This is Netflix level entertainment. They should be charging us to even hear about this case. This shit, you can't write it. You can't write this shit at all if you tried. It's becoming clear, bro, with the gaggle fuck and the shit show that this case has become. It's like, bro, what the fuck? What are y'all gonna do? Like, it's clear as day. It may not be clear that Tory is innocent. It may not be a fact that Tory Lanez is innocent, but it's clear as day that Tory Lanez will not be considered guilty by the jury in this trial. It's just so obvious. No jury in their right mind would convict this man. No jury in their right mind would convict Tory Lanez with these set of circumstances. I just don't see how it's possible. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. I just don't see how it's possible. And now that it's become incredibly clear that they fucked up, that they didn't have the evidence that they thought they had, that public sympathy wasn't going to work in their favor, that they were really going to have a fucking, an unforeseen level of chaos with Kelsey coming and saying, everything that I said before about Tory shooting Meg, and I saw him walk down Meg, and I tried to interfere, and he beat my ass, and all of that I said, I lied. They didn't know that was going to happen. The entire case is falling apart. There's no evidence that shows that it was Tory and not Kelsey. Kelsey pleads the fifth every 5 seconds because it seems to me like she's probably guilty of something, allegedly. Now they're trying to stick these 2 charges of of witness intimidation and bribery, felony bribery on TORY. They're desperate. They're desperate to lock him up. They're absolutely desperate. They should have actually sought out justice instead of trying to seek out fame. If they were truly trying to seek who shot Meg, they would have said, you know what, Miss Pete, that's the last name, Pete. You know what, Miss Meg? We understand that you believe TORY shot you, but we found gunshot residue on both Kelsey and TORY. There is multiple DNA sources on the weapon. We don't know who shot you. We are going to be charging your friend Kelsey as well. Because it seems to me like there is a chance that Kelsey is the one who shot Meg. There's a chance. Allegedly. So with that being said, it's really of no surprise to me now that they're scrambling the way that they're scrambling, because they had a set narrative in their mind of how this was going to go and how things should have gone, and it didn't go that way. Everything went left for the prosecution and everything went right for TORY. Everything went right for TORY. It's pathetic what they're trying to do now. It's absolutely pathetic. And the judge threw it out. The judge said, we're not dealing with this. Y'all aren't going to do this in this case. Y'all aren't going to do this. You want to create a new trial and charge him with that? Fine, do that. But with this case, no. With this trial, absolutely not. No. You fucked up. You thought you had the evidence that you really didn't have. You threw together a whole bunch of bullshit, tried to create a case out of nothing, out of thin air, and now here we are scraping bullshit charges to throw on TORY because we have nothing better to do. We can't come up with anything good to stick on him. This is just pathetic, and it's sad that it's come to this, because I don't know what the fuck happened that night. All three of them seem to be really, really, really iffy about what they will and will not share about that night. Obviously, because criminal charges are now involved for Kelsey and TORY. Well, it was specifically TORY, and Meg clearly is extremely concerned about how the public perceives her. The public is split in half now. The public was split in half before the whole Meg getting on the stand and not remembering anything. Before Kelsey getting on the stand and saying, I lied about TORY shooting Meg. Before any holes were poked in this story, people were already divided on Meg. How divided do you think they are on Meg now? Quite divided, I'd say. Man, and now they're trying to charge this nigga Tory Lanez with bribery. If it was that clear and that simple, why didn't y'all just throw that in there in the beginning? Why are you trying to come up with this now? It's so obvious that they don't have anything on this man Tory. Like, it's so obvious that this case is just not what they made it out to be. I'm not taking any sides. I don't have any sides. I'm not a Meg fan. I'm not a Tory fan. But I will say this much. This case did not pan out the way that I thought it would. It just didn't. And that's why they're trying to charge him with this shit. Because they took a case, in my opinion, for the publicity and for the fame. They took it for the publicity, thinking that they were going to lock up TORY, and it backfired because they didn't have the evidence that they actually thought that they had. They didn't have the evidence that they actually needed. They didn't have shit besides he said, she said. Meg can barely remember anything from that day. And it's unclear as to whether it's because she genuinely doesn't remember or because she doesn't want to speak about it because there's things that she doesn't want people to know. She lied about having an intimate relationship with TORY. Come to find out, a heated argument / physical altercation clearly took place because of an argument stemming from the fact that she had a sexual relationship with TORY. These important details were being left out. And you could argue, oh, you know, Meg doesn't want people to know about her personal life. Well, nigga, the fact that she had a personal relationship, a sexual relationship with TORY led to the entire altercation. So it's like how are we going to leave this out of the conversation when it's incredibly pertinent? Meg left out pertinent information for whatever reason that it might be. And unfortunately, in a court case, people are going to sit there and say, well, why did you leave that out? We needed to know that. Because apparently either you or TORY got into a fist fight with this lady because of this relationship that you were having with TORY behind your friend's back, who was allegedly messing around with TORY or dating TORY. You didn't want to tell us about that, but now we know. So we had to sit there and find out from somebody else as to how this entire thing even took place in the first place. All these holes poked in Meg's story. Kelsey coming out and saying she lied about TORY shooting Meg, and she also denies shooting Meg. It's the most ridiculous case ever. It's like one of y'all did it. Either you or Tory did it. There is no, I didn't shoot Meg and he didn't shoot Meg. A ghost shot Meg. Like, one of y'all shot Meg. And I think that obviously Tory's going to defend himself because he's being accused of shooting Meg and he doesn't want to go to jail, obviously, or be deported. And Kelsey doesn't want to go to jail either. And also, Kelsey has motive to spite Meg. Kelsey has all the motive in the world to spite Meg. Meg fucked her man behind her back when she was sick. When Kelsey was sick, Meg was fucking Tory. Kelsey and they're not friends anymore as far as I know, Kelsey and Meg. So Kelsey and Meg fell out a long time ago, and it could be possible that Kelsey's trying to spite Meg. It could be possible, but I don't know. I genuinely do not fucking know. I don't know what's going on. But what I will say is this. It looks to me like Tory's walking and they're desperate. They're absolutely desperate. It's entertaining to me how this all came through, how this all came about, how everything turned out. I'm not taking any sides. I genuinely don't give a fuck. I don't listen to Meg or Tory, so I'm not really on anybody's side here, but just relaying the information, relaying the news, and just keeping up with it. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.